Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Stay Fishy Friday. We are doing this thing tonight, but Dad's still feeling a bit under the weather, so he's taking tonight off. You have myself here tonight. Come on through. So we got a couple updates to go through. We got some stuff to bring up and talk about. We got the baby here. All right, bye, baby. Love you. All right, so let me pull this chat up on my phone and we'll get started here. So we're a few minutes late to the night because walked into something that was unknown, so we had to do what we thought. Here, baby. 1 second. I had to run her out the key real quick. But all right, so first things first. You guys know my dad was sick. You know he's getting better. He's not 100%, but that is a-okay. Give him a couple days and he should be back. As far as the fish rescue goes, we got a couple things to talk about, and we are heading in the right direction. You guys seen the last couple of videos that we've had up and on. We got some projects that are coming through. We got new things starting. You know, we've got the 265 and its stand there that we have to go ahead and rebuild, and that is a-okay. It's going to come back. It's going to be better, and that's going to be awesome. It's on the table, babe. All right. Chat is now up. We are good to go. Yeah, so Dad is in the chat saying he's almost well. Once we get enough viewers on here, we can go ahead and do a mom update as well. But yeah, so a few exciting things that we can kind of talk about tonight. You know, we had two videos go kind of viral on the platforms. We were able to pick up a bunch of, you know, subscribers and stuff like that. One in particular that was cool. You know, I'm sitting there, I'm at home, and my dad calls me and asking if I know about Joe Rogan, and I'm like, yeah, why are you asking me about that? Come to find out that Joe Rogan was actually following Ohio Fish Rescue. So that was pretty awesome. You know, we checked the account. It was the real Joe Rogan. I tried going back and seeing exactly when he started following us to see if it was that video or if it was one prior, and I wasn't able to see that. So it was kind of hard to tell when exactly that happened, but that was kind of cool. No.
I'll keep the blanket between us.
I'm gonna step out then. I'm not trying to get sick again.
All right.
I mean, is that what you want to do? I mean, I got a family to watch out for to do, you know. Sorry, bud. So there we have that. We are at 221. So we are able to go ahead and do the mom update. So for the last week, the last update was probably 2 weeks ago. You guys remember that my dad had gotten the word that mom was being cut from her Medicare, and he was supposed to lose all of his nursing, and he was trying to go through appeals processes. And there was, you know, 7 different appeals that were put in to do the system, and none of those ended up working. And as of, you know, a certain date, it was either one of the last days in January or February 1st, they were supposed to, you know, cut off the nursing, and my dad was going to be back to my mom's care full time until they were able to get this situated. So he was on the phone every day, calling whoever he needed to call, and he was able to get a application rushed through, and they went ahead and put it through that day. They skipped the appeal process, and they were able to go ahead and backdate the coverage, and basically it was like a seamless transition. He didn't end up losing any of his nursing staff. He still got everything on the books, so that is a great move forward. So that was a big win for him and for mom. So it was getting real stressful there for a sec, because he hasn't done 24-hour care in a long time, and with him being sick too. He was sick with mom last week. This week she's doing better, so they're trying to keep it from mixing there. So you can just tell that the stress in the household was going up, and then thinking about losing all the nursing and stuff like that. That was just a big old headache, and being on the phone all the time, trying to call all these nursing agencies, and they've got to do things by their books, and one person is telling them that he's not going to be able to get it back. He's got to start a new application, and then the sea parted, the sky opened up, and the angels started singing, and he was able to go ahead and get all the nursing back. So we are back 100% there. So that is a big step up. I heard that mom has gotten less sick, so she's back to being easy to care for. So that is a major win all the way around the table. I'm not sure why. Let me just pull up the chat right here. There we go. My dad's not here. Yeah, and we had to keep the baby away from dad. So me and Brittany also got sick. It was the last live stream that we were here. The next day is when my dad had woken up, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm feeling sick." And he got down. Then it was like 2 days after that, I went down. And then Brittany was able to care for me. And it's like right at the cusp that I was getting better, Brittany went down. So then I was able to, take care of her while she was down for the count. And luckily, we were able to not get the baby sick. So we're just trying to keep on that path and get everyone back to full health. That's what ultimately matters here. So that's what we're, gunning for. Yes, everyone's saying amazing news. 2 weeks sounds like Rona. My dad took 4 different COVID tests, and they all came back negative. We think it might have been like a strand of the RSV. So we're not 100% sure on that one. David H says, "You guys sick? Predatory Fitbins is sick." Yeah, I mean, it seems to be going up around, and everyone just has to get better. We can't all be sick. We got more things to do and get done. Yes, we're on the up now. Rainy Watermelon says, "Is the wedding coming up?" Yeah, it's actually in less than 2 months. We leave March 27th and we come back on April 7th. The actual wedding is on April 4th. So, we've got everything pretty much booked, paid for, and you know there's only a few odds and ends that we have to, you know, button up still, but we're working on that, and it's all just a big sigh of relief. You know that there was a lot of stress with that too. You know, trying to plan something for a year and a half. It's crazy. I mean, I'm sure you know a lot of you guys have went through that as well, and yeah, it's fun. It's exciting. It was stressful at times, but it's so going to be worth it. um, Someone was asking, can we live stream of the wedding? So we're not going to have no, you know, cameras out at the wedding. It's not going to be live streamed, but we are paying for, you know, photography and videography. So we're going to go ahead and have that video out. That's something I could, you know, potentially share. But we just want the atmosphere of our wedding to be about us. We don't want everyone on their phones, and you know, just enjoy the moment. You know, be in it. You know, be with us and just enjoy the time. Oh, Lori Kish, I'm doing it a second time soon. That's awesome. Ah, John says, let's get some fishy news now. All right. So, you guys know the few videos we posted lately, got the projects coming up. In one of the last videos, you guys remember I was talking about the stingrays. I keep going out there. The appetite on some of them big rays just keeps on increasing and increasing. I'm feeding between a pound and 2 pounds a day to the rays, and you can just see the backs on them are just growing massively, and the males are now going after other rays. So I think that could be a potential very good news here soon. Like we knew that going into this that we were going to have a majority of our rays mature at the same time, and that's essentially around the time that would be now. They're at the size, the age, and you know, you think about a black diamond, and they mature anywhere from 4 to 6 years, and we're at the 4.5 year mark now, coming up on 5. So you know, it's definitely that time. It's doing good. So that is a major win, and the albinos are going after them. You know, yeah, I got the female black diamond being bit up by the male albino black diamond. So that's going to be super cool, super awesome. I'm not 100% sure on her yet because she is so small, but we'll definitely give you guys an update on that as well. But that is some exciting stuff. How long do rays live? It depends on your species. Hang on, Jim said there's no video. Let me double check. Oh, it's still up on my phone, so there we go. But back to the ray question. Rays could be anywhere from, you know, 10 to 20 years. I mean, that definitely depends on the species, on the care. You know, it depends on your water quality, what kind of diet that you feed them. It's, you know, just a big mashup of a lot of things. Sometimes it's to do with genetics, and you know, you could get an inbred rays, and they might not live as long, or you could get some super high quality rays, and you know, you can have them for decades. You know, very long time. Oh man. All right. Let's see what kind of questions we got before I keep going on with the fishy news. Unfiltered Fish Keeper says, planning on breeding my rays soon. What advice would you give a first-time breeder? So first-time breeding, you're probably not going to know that you are even pregnant. You're probably not going to see much of a difference. You're probably just going to think that you're raised fat. I have a friend that lives around here. He's got black diamonds too, and he sent me a text asking like, "Hey, do you think my rays could be pregnant?" I'm like, it's kind of hard to tell. It would be her first time breeding. The fat sacs on the back didn't really drop, and I'm like, it's possible, but it's also possible that she could be super duper fat. So it's kind of hard to say. And then he called me two days later, and she dropped 3 pups. So your first time is definitely the hardest with in any ray, and it's also the hardest on the parent themselves. It's always best when you know that they're pregnant and the rays start to move. Depending on how your male acts, you should potentially remove the male from the tank, so they're not constantly biting and trying to mate with them while they are carrying pups. It could stress them out, and the pups can abort. That, like I said in my last video, it is possible, and you never know. I didn't suspect my rays to abort, but it does happen, and it's not always for a certain reason. Sometimes your rays could just not be ready, and they don't want to give birth. I mean, could be 100 different solutions there. All right. So I hope that answered your question just a tad bit. David Kessler, $3 says, "Can you guys keep Asian arowanas and native species?" So in the United States, the Asian arowana are a CITES 1 species, so that means you are not able to own them whatsoever. It's just a complete ban on them. There are some special permitting that you are able to get, and we do have access to those. Sometimes some fish, it's fish specific, you can get them, and we do have some of those permits, but they are very hard to get. Most of the time it's given to non-profits and certain organizations, and sometimes them permits can be super expensive, anywhere from $5,000 up to $50,000 depending on the animal. And you're not always sure. As far as the native species, there are some that are you're not supposed to own. Some could be sterile. You would just have to look up your local laws as to what those are. But we are able to keep native species here. We always thought about doing a native species tank with like muskie, pike, walleye, stuff like that. We've got that 2,000 outside, and that would have been the perfect tank for them. But we just don't really have much of a need for it. There's not too many people that keep native species around here because they're not as attractive as others, but they still are cool. We had muskie before. They've died off in the past. Sometimes we rehome stuff to different nature and science centers and stuff like that. But bowfin are probably the most attractive fish that people want to keep from here because they look just like a snakehead. They are aggressive too, but they are from our region up here. You can find them in the Great Lakes. You can find them some of the river systems and lakes up around here. Sometimes they're stocked, sometimes that they're not. And then if you go 45 minutes east, you can go up the river and catch pike all day long. You can go out on, deep on Lake Erie. Sometimes you can catch muskie out there. There are, long-nosed gar as well. So there's definitely cool fish to be kept. We just don't have a native tank per se, at least not yet. Unfiltered Fish Keeper says, what's the gestation on the rays? The gestation on the rays is about 90 days, give or take 10 days or so. Sometimes when the mom keeps them in, they come out a lot bigger. I've had pups come out to 2.5 inch discs. Sometimes I've had them come out, 5, 6 inch discs. So it's, it's kind of hard to say, but general rule of thumb is about 90 days. My dad chimed in with $10 and says, what's the drinking word? Drinking word. How about the drinking word can be fish? We'll go old school today. Anytime someone says fish or talks about a fish, you go ahead and drink. Yeah, Raheem says it's the worst rules in the USA. Personally, I think that if you have fish that are going to be breeding and you get them breeding in captivity, okay, if they're happen to be endangered in the wild, then I think what is right by the world and what's right by the hobby is if you get someone who's a licensed breeder of that fish, they are able to take them in. Your first F1, which means your first generation, possibly your second. I know Australia has this for the lungfish. At least they used to. The only breeder in Australia had to go through 3 generations before they were able to be sold to the public. So they were able to grow them in captivity, have them, breed them. Then they had to grow up those babies, breed them up again till they got to the 3rd generation. Then the babies were able to be sold to the public. But all the meanwhile, they were taking a percentage of everything that was bred, and they were being grown out and re-released back into the wild. So, if there's, dwindling numbers that you have to be able to put them on the CITES one species, once you get them breeding in captivity, I say it's fine as long as you're also doing your part to give back and repopulate this, certain species in the wild. Then, you can take your rest of them and make a profit on them. Because if you take a step back and you look at conservation, a lot of the fish world and some of these things that were going towards extinction, a lot of community fish we can talk about, were almost extinct in the wild or were presumed extinct. And through the hobby, through conservation, we were able to bring these populations back, and that's another great win. So I think there has to be a mix of everything that comes together, be able to, repopulate the natural populations, give some to hobbyists, put them on display in, public settings, because that is a great thing. Speaking of repopulation, I don't know if you guys follow Forrest Galante, but he does a lot of stuff on the internet, and he does stuff on like Discovery and stuff like that, and he goes out to these remote destinations, and he's actually rediscovered some animals that were presumed extinct. And he came out with this video recently talking about 10 animals that through DNA and gene splicing and all this stuff, they were able to kind of bring back certain species, and the number one species that they're trying to bring back right now that might be back in our lifetime would be the woolly mammoth, because they found DNA that was frozen up in God knows wherever the hell that they found it. Might have been Siberia, you know, stuff like that, to where it's deep frozen for tens of thousands of years, could be 100,000 years, could be millions of years, depending on which species they're talking about. But you know, they're able to, you know, put this DNA, copy it, put it into certain species of elephants, grow them out, and then they breed the woolly mammoth back into existence. They've kind of done, you know, similar things like that with fish. And, you know, just like the ST, the wide bar datnoids. And this kind of, you know, rubs me the wrong way a little bit, because I'll tell you what they did and what I think they actually did. So, you know, the ST wide bars are the super wide bar datnoids, and they were presumed extinct in the wild. And you know, the wide bars in the old day, they had the little bar coming down the back tail, and it stopped, and then, you know, it went down the tail. There was a break in the bar, and they had this super predominant ultra wide bar, and it looked phenomenal. You know, they were, you know, the most expensive datnoid 15 years ago. And you know, we were selling our big datnoids that were 24 inches for like $2 grand a piece, and we thought that was insane. And then, you know, come a few years later, they're presumed, you know, extinct in the wild. And now only what's left in the hobby are, you know, what's left. So now the price of these fish jumped up to $8,000-$10,000, and I can only imagine what my pure ST wide bar datnoid would have sold for if I just kept on and hung on to it. Because there's these things called CT wide bars, and they're from Cambodia, and they look just like a Indo-datnoid, but they have a wider bar. Now the ST datnoid, the true Siamese tiger, now mind you, I told you, has that break in the back bar going over the fin. So I think it was somewhat of a different subspecies. And now these people are crossing ST wide bars and CT wide bars and calling them ST datnoids. And now the ST datnoids that you're getting in the hobby now, 4,000, they're coming down in price, but they look just like a CT wide bar or a wide bar in Indo-dat. Back in the day, before we had that, you know, power outage and failure, we had two 20-inch Indo-datnoids. One was gold, and one was completely like a silver color, and he had this ultra wide bar datnoid. I picked him up for $500, and you know, people would come in, they're like, "Oh my God, that is a beautiful wide bar datnoid." And I'm like, "That's actually not a wide bar; it is a Indo-datnoid." And like, you know, my subconscious, I'm like, if I wanted to do somebody dirty, I could probably sell that thing, make a bunch of money off of it, but it's not what people think it is. It's actually an Indo-datnoid. So I start thinking to myself is, how many of those wide bar Indos or the CT wide bars did they cross with STs and sell them as STs just to make a quick buck? Because I mean, the old ST wide bars look nothing like the wide bars they do today. Now, granted, they somewhat brought the population back because of conservation and because of the hobby. Now, that was a bit of a sidebar, but that was a fun one. I think that's pretty much what these, you know, live streams are about. You get talking, you start talking about a topic, and then you just have at it, and bam, there we go. 30 minutes has passed. All right, we got Corona Aroma, $10. And he sent in a super sticker. Says, let's celebrate their third super on a live stream. Well, thanks for the $10. Cali Girl Fish Keeping says, Josh, did you see that guy building the 4.5K gallon plywood tank? Finished it, wondering what you thought of the final result. All right, so all throughout that build, I think you're talking about Aquarium the domain. So all throughout that build, I kind of critiqued it a bit. And I'm like, here's what I would have done differently. Here's some things that he did right. Obviously, the tank is holding, so that's a big plus. There's a few things on it, like a couple of the cross bracing, the way the sheathing what was done. Certain little aspects that I would have nitpicked, and if I was talking to him, I would have given him advice on. But at the end of the day, we all do things our own way. He built an enormous tank. It looks beautiful. It's going to last him years to come. So I have really nothing bad to say about the tank. It's a work of art. It's a great piece. He's going to have fun doing whatever he wants to do with it over the course of the next 10, 15 years. But I could see some potential need for minor patches as the years go on and he figures certain things out. Because nobody in this line of work knows exactly what's going to happen. When we built our first tank, we didn't have no book and say this is what you do. We just had a bunch of other people on the internet that were doing the same thing. So we learned certain things from them and we took exactly what we thought would be the best practice. But after we built our own tank, we learned our own mistakes, and if we were to build a tank again, we certainly might. We might build I think it's 24 by 4.5 by 4.5 tall to go down that center aisle and replace the dog bone there. We have the panels actually sitting outside. 2 of them are 8 foot, and then I have an 11-foot panel that's actually sitting at our friend's house. So we could potentially build another tank there, and we would then use some of our expertise from building the first tank and build that one better the first time. Because you guys remember, we drained our tank, we then sanded off the seams and fiberglassed the corners because we took some advice from another person and ended up not panning out, only lasted a couple years. If I was to do it again, we have them 1,000 gallon and the 700 out there that came from Columbus. Those things have lasted so long, and they're built out of just plywood, and they're fiberglassed inside and out. So I feel like we can make a pretty indestructible tank and still build it pretty cheap. And one thing I will never do again is build the tank to where it sits on the floors. So I would 100%, even if it's only a 4-inch pedestal or a 2-inch pedestal, just to where water is not sitting up against the bottom of the tank. That's one of the biggest mistakes we made with the 3,000 gallon, and we would not make that mistake again. And if we could go back, we 100% would put that 3,000 up onto a stand. The thing that's not going to stop us is we already plumbed it through the walls, and the damage to the bottom is already done. Because it's silly to think you have all these tanks that you're never going to have a mishap, meaning a flood, a power outage, a pipe break, a hose break. You forget, a drain hose, a fill hose falls out of the tank. You know, it's literally impossible to think of everything, and just the simple fact of human error. You know, it's just it happens. So that's one thing we didn't really account for. We're like, oh, pressure treated wood, it'll be fine. But now the bottom of our tank has, you know, sat in water at times. Now, granted, we were able to dry it back out, and it's been holding now for years, and it's great. So we have no complaints about it. But I can see one day that, you know, we might have to rebuild that tank, come back and build it better. You know, I mean that is an 11-foot panel right there. So you know, who knows? We might get a bigger tank. All right, Jim Sheasley, $2 says, I knew it, Mark. I think they're having a sidebar conversation. Raheem says, Josh, why don't you build 4,000-gallon salt water tank? So, although salt water is cool, it's awesome. It is a lot more work. You know, for one, cleaning the outside, always dealing with that salt creep, it's a pain. You know, just the water maintenance alone, salt water does have more of a fishy smell than fresh water. That's why you deal with protein skimmers and all of that. But having that much salt water in one area, you're going to have more of a smell. When you walk into the fish room now, there's not ever a fishy smell. If there is a fishy smell, not saying we never get it, because sometimes we do, that just means there's an imbalance in the water and something needs to be fixed. So, you know, you kind of just have to know your system. Like, we've got things so dialed in here to where if someone walks in, hey, you know, the fish room kind of smells a little bit, or hey, the pond room smells, then I know it could be the pumps off for the skimmer in the monster pond. Something could be blocking an overflow into 3,000 or a tank, or, you know, God forbid there's a dead fish. You know, it could all be possible. But the freshwater smells a lot less than the salt water. Yes, the saltwater tank does look lovely. It's just a lot more work. That's all I can really say about it. Although we are expanding more salt water, I just came up with another plan because Skylar got her bleachers out of that bottom 75 there. I'm going to go ahead and turn that. I've had some sponges going for in the 55 with all that live rock. Probably going to turn that bottom 75 into a saltwater holding tank for smaller fish. We still have to move the reef tank up front. We were just waiting for Dad to get a little bit better. Break down that community tank, bring all the corals up here, get all the saltwater filtration and whatnot onto this tank up here. Then once that's moved up, we can then take that 90-gallon, put where the 60-gallon was, and have that as another, you know, salt water quarantine tank there. And then springtime, sometime around there, we should have the cement fixed, and we'll go ahead and be able to set up that 265 as well. Raheem's asking if you've seen videos of the saltwater by Polo Reef. Yes, that is probably one of the most extravagant, expensive saltwater tanks in America. It is a beautiful tank. The man spends an ungodly amount each month just to maintain that one tank. He's got, you know, over $1 million invested in. I think it's a 10,000-gallon saltwater tank. Raheem said 17,000. There you go. And it is just, you know, it's jaw dropping. I haven't seen it in person, but one of these days I definitely will. So, you know, I can only imagine the amount of work and quarantine and coral care and, you know, grooming and snipping. You know, he's got a full-time team that, you know, works on that tank for him. which is awesome. You know, if you got the money to do it, you have that in your house, it's sweet. But there's definitely a lot of work that goes into that. Jim Sheasley, $10 says, Josh, you did an amazing job saving all those salt corals that we brought back from Michigan. It looks amazing. Are you guys using a live cleanup crew or not? Yeah. So there is probably, I want to say about 80 or so snails and hermit crabs in that reef tank. We'll have to expand a bit once we bring it up to the 150 up here. But yeah, you know, if you're doing a live reef tank, it's, you know, pertinent to have your cleanup crew there. We're going to get a couple more shrimps once we bring them up here, and, you know, just let them go to town, and it adds a little bit more exciting factor and oohs and ahs to the tank. And you know, we're doing it. You know, there's a couple things that we are also learning along the way, because we are by no means saltwater experts, but we do know enough about salt water that we can keep, you know, expert level fish alive. The water looks great, and obviously we know how to keep corals alive. And, you know, that there was some time there that, you know, the tank was being covered in cyanobacteria because it was imbalanced. That's a sure sign of new tank syndrome. But we got that, you know, bit in the butt real quick, and now that tank is absolutely blossoming. I can't say it's all been fun, but it's been some work. And there's some things that I'm going to change with the landscape as well. Certain corals have to be closer to the light. Certain ones have to be lower. You always want to keep your grass together because that stuff spreads. So you always want to get some scissors and clip that stuff back. And that's a great time that you can either give out corals or, you know, sell off pieces as well. So, you know, there's a million different ways that you can grow. I had a bunch of extra coral in that Fit 55. I've been given that out as well. The only thing in that 55 is my dwarf golden moray eel, and he is about 15 inches long, and that is as big as they get. So as long as you have shrimp that are way bigger than he can possibly eat, you can honestly put that dwarf moray in the reef tank as well, because his mouth is real tiny. So that, you know, 3-4 inch scarlet wiener shrimp, he's got no worries with that moray at all. Plus, if you keep him fed, you're not going to have to be concerned about it. But right now, we're just kind of playing it cool. I didn't want to overburden the tank that's already kind of overstocked now. We know that it's not enough room for all of those tanks. They're going to grow. But that thing was, we had all of our fish living together in harmony, and all them new fish were all living together. So we didn't want to split them up and have, you know, one trying to assert dominance and start messing up the piece that you already have. And everyone in there is doing great. Nobody's nipping on each other. They all kind of got their own hides, and pretty soon they will have twice the tank. And then after that, they'll have double the tank yet again when they go into the 265. So we'll definitely have upgrades coming. Just stuff takes time, you know. We can't always, you know, be super quick. You know, we try and do our best, but, you know, sometimes it just takes a bit of finesse. And we've got so many tanks set up now, and there's if you guys haven't noticed, that there's been more fish that have been being dropped off to the rescue itself, and there's been less of us going out and picking up fish. Although it still happens, it's just been at a much slower pace, because we're getting more and more people that are just dropping off here. You know, I opened up Saturdays to, you know, open hours, trying to give people a chance to come in and see the place instead of just doing private tours. I'm here from 12 to 4 on Saturdays anyway. So, you know, I was able just to say, screw it. If I'm here, you got guys can come in, take a look around. There's, you know, donations involved. We got to keep our doors open too. And a lot of people are loving it. So many people have, you know, came here and toured, loved it so much that they're bringing their entire programs back. You know, telling all their friends about it. And like I was telling you earlier on in the stream, we had them videos go viral. I've gotten so many questions, so many new people that were like, hey, can we come and see this in person? It looks awesome. And, you know, you just get more and more people. That's how you grow. In the last, so if you guys remember before the beginning of the year, fish, yep, Raheem says he's addicted to fish. So before the New Year's, I said my goal would be to reach 200,000 followers on Facebook. And we came up short. We were only at about 183. And we were like, all right, that's fine. You know, positive growth is great. So, you know, we moved from 30,000 people to 183 in almost a year. That is awesome. Now it's, you know, first of the year, we were at 183,000. So I'm like, you know what? We'll have stuff come at its own pace. We were growing at about 7,000 subscribers each month. But there's sometimes that you just make a great video and it just blows up. We had two that kind of fed off of each other. So I had one that did all right, and then the next one I posted kind of went viral. Then it blew up and blew the other video up, and it went in two separate different directions. And we picked up, went from 183,000 to 220 as of to today. So in less than a month and a half, that's how much we grew. So, you know, that helps us get our mission out there so much more. And I've seen an increase of people jumping over from Facebook and Instagram over to YouTube. And now there's new faces on YouTube and whatnot. And that's where, you know, it helps us bring in revenue to help fund what we do. Some other cool stuff that I want to try and work towards. I haven't videoed any of this because it's kind of boring, and, you know, I don't want to give you guys boring content. But I was working with the community service volunteers, and I was able to clean out underneath one of the Bellagio tank stands, but we want to go in there and redo the facades on all the metal stand tanks to where you walk in and it looks more of like a display as opposed to just crap sitting everywhere. You can see everything underneath the stands. I'd like it to be a little bit more organized and have covers on it and look nice. You know, we've went long enough with, you know, setting up the tanks and funding everything. Of course, funding the rescue will always come first, but we're getting to do a point that I think it would do us more good if we are able to bring up the appearance of Ohio Fish Rescue, give our viewers a better view as opposed to just mess everywhere. And, you know, coming with that comes, you know, better editing, newer ideas. You know, I don't just want to, so YouTube is kind of going away from the vlog style, just going out there filming, here's what we're doing. Obviously, what we're doing is not working because we're not getting the views that we should. I mean, on Facebook and, you know, all of those. What I'm doing on there seems to be working for that platform, and each platform's a little bit different. So as we come up with new ideas, you have to, you know, figure out what's the best way that you can do it. And I try and implement stuff slowly, so it's not a drastic change, but as time goes on, hope you guys have seen the videos have gotten a bit better. I post the Wednesday videos, and then I do the shorts. I still have not been able to figure out YouTube shorts for the life of me, and I'll keep on trying, because, you know, one time you get a video that does a couple million views on shorts, and bam, you pick up 100,000 subs there. I mean, once you have that, you know, coming in, I think I want to get to a point that we are able to hire like a personal assistant slash videographer that we can put on payroll. So it's not someone just coming over and getting paid for a video, so they want to get in and get out. They're here for, you know, 8 hours a day, and, you know, it's actually like an employee, and, you know, hopefully they're good at videography, and then when, you know, you don't have stuff to film, you can, you know, mold them and say, hey, you know, we can do maintenance here and do that, and just have more help around here, so it's not so much of a burden on myself, my dad. You know, Jerry's a good help, but it would be a lot not nicer if we had more help. So I think that's the ultimate goal for me. Buddy of mine says, I like shorts. They're comfy and easy to wear. But I've got the short videos figured out on the other platforms. I just gotta be better on YouTube, you know. But there's also a lot of people who seem to be jumping away from YouTube alone, and, you know, because TikTok is now implementing a new video style. Facebook, you know, they're always competing with each other. Let's see. Yeah, whoever said don't chase pH, that is true. You can get a massive pH burn, and you know, that would be highly, you know, volatile to the fish, and you'll end up killing your fish depending on how much of a pH change it is. But yeah, just don't check, Jason. You always want to bring levels up slowly and surely. Let's see. There's a few questions I skipped past, but I'm definitely scroll up pretty big. How big do Oscars get? I heard they can reach 15 inches in captivity, but I have 2 that are at 12 and haven't grown. I can tell you that I've had Oscars personally. It was Anubis in the 4400. He grew up in a 220 gallon, and he was 18 1/4 inches long. But I'd say 15 inches is the average max. What we had was an outlier, but they can get that big. Update on the electric eel. I am possibly going to build the stand this weekend. Not 100% sure, and by this weekend I mean tomorrow. I can surely possibly go pick up the materials and start it. Not sure, but definitely soon. Got to get that tank back up and rolling. The electric eel is honestly fine in that tank because they don't move much, but I just feel bad that he's in such a cramped, you know, space. So we don't want to keep him in there for long. So we want to get him back in his larger quarters and get that tank out of our walkway as well. Let's scroll back down. You're going to do more videos with Paul Cafaro. It's possible. We just have to do that on an opportunity basis. You know, if he's here and you know we got something to film, of course. Or if we're ever down in Florida, yeah. If we're ever at you know rods together, sure. We're not opposed to doing videos with anyone. Juice Junkie says, Rich, when you coming out in your Speedo, big boy? So I could potentially, Dad was mentioning he can do after hours with him and Skylar. And it's tangential. That's up to you guys. We just don't want to get us sick again. Juice Junkie said TikTok said not allowed in America. That was actually never passed. And TikTok in the United States is probably one of the better countries that has the most features. So yeah, and we got some of the newest features as well. I just think it's a massive opportunity. I hate ever since they went to do the whole shop thing, because it just makes it worse. Now everyone's trying to sell a product, but is what it is. Where's Rich? Rich is in his room right now. We had to keep us separated because he's still on the fritz a little bit, although he's getting better. We just didn't want me to get reinfected and then me possibly give it to the baby. You know, we didn't get the baby sick all this time, so we just want to keep it that way. Can catfish go with Oscars? Pretty much a majority of fish can go with Oscars as long as they can't get eaten. So, I mean, if you look in most of our videos, we have Oscars in with all sorts of stuff. Will 5 Oscars, electric blue car, green 7 tinfoil bar, Bichard, Raphael, Cat, Pleco be okay at 125, or should I upgrade it? It's fine as they're small and growing out, but some of them fish can get, you know, 12, 15 inches or so. So when they're full grown, the tank will probably be a bit cramped. So I would always say, you know, go as big as you can. Chris O says, how many tanks are at your house, Josh, and how is the renovation going over there? There's one tank at my house. It's the naturally planted driftwood glowfish tank. That's for Alora. She loves her fish. As far as the renovations have gone, it's kind of put a halt to it for now. I got the rest of the basement. We're gonna have to finish it here soon. I just had, you know, wedding to pay for, and had a bunch of time consumed with other things. As soon as we get back from the wedding trip, I've got my PE exam that I have to sit for, take, and pass, and after that, I can start worrying a bit more about the house. So welcome Evelyn and Chris O to the green team. Thanks, guys. Let Brutus do the live stream. Wouldn't that be cool? That would be awesome. I also think it'd be awesome to do the stream in the monster pond, or at least in the pond room. But there's a bunch of stuff that would have to be done with that. Maybe potentially when I buy my new laptop, I can buy something that's strong enough to power the stream. So we just got to take a Ethernet cable out there, plug in, and set up. You know. Happy American Dad. Want to know what happened to the arapaima that's supposed to go to the aquarium? So we are very limited on space. Right now, I am struggling. We are holding a lot of fish to go to do the aquarium, and we'll continue to try. But if I said that it hasn't been hard, I would be lying, because majority of these fish I would have offered to, the other sources. People have been here and tried to, acquire them and stuff, or other aquariums, and I'm like, you know what, I gotta, stay true to my word. So I have stuff kind of put all over the place, and there's certain fish that got too big, and we have tucked away at certain locations and whatnot. And we were scared to put all the arapaimas together, because Brutus is a killer. So we didn't want to try that, but that fish was here for what, a year and a half, and it came in at 3.5 feet. And you guys know I don't starve my fish. The fish got too big to be in that small sump, so we had to make a call. And trying to transfer big fish, it's very, very hard and difficult. Not saying it can't be done, but I think that we're going to have to make some tough calls, and there might be some fish that won't be transported up there, or we could just decide against because of age or size, or we don't think they'll make the trip. I can't really say too much about it until it happens, but all of it will come to light here probably next month. Hopefully this month, but by next month for sure. It's been a long time coming. We were supposed to have delivery almost a year ago. Now stuff happens. We're super understanding. So we're also trying to do our best to babysit and hold on. If you guys think about it, we've bought a lot of fish, and we're holding on to them, rent free. We're feeding them, and feeding some of these fish for a year and a half is definitely tough. And I've probably spent more in food than them fish are worth. But it's to help our buddy Brian out. So we had no problem doing that. And when the time comes, the fish will go to a great home. And once the time comes and we're able to get on the phone and say, here's the sizes, everything is now, here's what we have, here's what we can do, this is what I think. And also some of that might change based on stocking of the tank. I'm sure some of the directions might go different ways. Some of the fish that I've acquired for them are complete assholes, and you might not want certain fish like that in a tank that big with all these other fish. He might cool it, but yeah, there's definitely going to be some changes of stock that are going up there. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different tanks now with large fish, 2 foot plus, that we're all holding to go up to the aquarium up there. We were holding a bunch of them in our clear water reservoir. That's that sump we were talking about. That should really have no fish in it whatsoever. We're using it as a backup holding tank right now. But you know, when you have a fish that comes in at 3.5 foot, and then you know you get fed by them Ohio fish rescue guys, and you know they get fattened up real quick. You stick a 4 or 5 foot fish in that pond, and you know he was going behind that sump and freaking out, and he was actually moving. For one, that small filter was being knocked over all the time, and then the big sump, the heavy sump, was actually being moved. So we feared that you know something might happen, so we had to move them. But when the time comes, you guys will see that on a video, and we'll move all these fish up to Michigan. You know, we don't always film everything. We do our best, and you know, sometimes you're just not in the mood either. So like sometimes you go out there and you're like, I got to do all this work. I just don't feel like, you know, putting out this video right now. You're like, I'm just not in the mood. I'm not the happy go lucky Josh, and that really reflects in your video quality and your content. There's sometimes, you know, you do a video when you're down, and you people can really notice it. So I try not to do that at times, and you know it's hard when you're you know moving fish and you have to run and you don't have a camera guy. So you know it's usually us recording on ourselves. So a lot of content gets missed. There's times that some funny stuff happens and you're like, man, I wish I would have got that on video. If there was someone, you know, rolling around and, you know, following us around with a camera, we would have captured it. So yeah, we got Team McDougal, $20 says, love your vids. Keep it up, guys. Well, we appreciate the support. We've been around for quite some time, and we hope that we can continue to be around for years to come. Josh says, do you use straight tap water to refill the system? Any concerns about chloramine or chlorine? So we drip in about 2,000 to 3,000 gallons per day, depending on where our system's at. If so, we use a carbon block. So it removes most of the chloramines and chlorines on it. But if you actually calculated out the volume of water that's going through the system, and if you're dripping in 2,000 gallons of water a day, and honestly, I think it'd be, you know, negligible, and it wouldn't affect the fish at all, and you know you wouldn't have to be concerned about it. But we just don't, you know, take the chance, and we just, you know, let it be. And you know, goes through the carbon block. You have to change that every 6 months, so it's not hard. But if we ever had like an emergency where you had to get a buttload of water into the system really quick, then we just have gallons and gallons of prime and safe on hand. Like someone who comes over here all the time, Randy, he was at this auction and he found bottles of safe, and each bottle does like 60 or 80,000 gallons, and he picked them up for like $1 a piece, and he came over and just donated this huge box of safe. Or I don't remember if we paid for it or he donated, whatever the case. We have mass amounts of dechlor sitting on hand for if something like that ever was happened. Then we do take tap water, put in, and we just go out every, you know, hour or two and sprinkle in some dechlor. So that's pretty much how we handle that situation there. Recommend feeding for Oscars. He feeds his tilapia and cichlid pellets, but I heard of should vary the diet. Honestly, Oscars will eat anything. I have mine on straight just meats. Sometimes they might eat some pellets. Sometimes they, eat shit. They'll eat pretty much anything. So I wouldn't be concerned. You have a rounded diet in just the pellets alone, so I wouldn't be too concerned about that. Oh, Jim Sheasley, $5 says, I hope that arapaima stays where he is now. Where he is perfect, never stressed again. And you guys have enough friends, you could find another for sure. So actually speaking on that, the more that I have experience with large arapaimas, and I mean anything over 3 foot, the less likely I am to want to move them. Say if they're here or they're at another facility. I have a couple friends around that have big ponds that I can stash some stuff there if I need to. But it's just like when you have a fish that big, is it truly worth trying to stress them out and possibly cost them their life to move them to an aquarium just because they want a big fish? Like I said, the more time goes on, the less likely I am to do that. Now, if it's like a life or death situation, of course, I'll try and save the fish, and bring them here, bring them straight to their new destination. But it's just like the fish can't think for themselves. That they have no voice, so you have to be the one that speaks for them. And in this case, I think moving a fish that big could be detrimental. Although we've done it successfully, what about that time that it's not successful? You always got to think about that in the back of your head to where these aquariums, it's much easier to ship a 3 foot arapaima and grow them to 5 foot in a year. That way the fish is more acclimated to the aquarium. He's not a older fish going into a new setting. A bunch of new mouths get stressed and die. You just always have to think about that. So that might be the case. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But by no means are we starving the fish to stop them from growing. We want them to be happy, want them to be healthy. So while they're here, I treat them like they're my own fish, and they are getting super chunky. The gar have doubled in size. So you pay X amount of dollars because the fish is this big. But now I've grown the fish out to this big. They're obviously worth more money at that point. But like I said earlier, I'm not charging to hold them or the food cost or any of that. We're just here to help a friend and get these fish to an awesome tank. So hopefully that kind of hit on that topic there. We got Lindy Moo, $5, says, Josh, doing great at solo. You remind me so much of my son, who's also an engineer. Same mindset. Well, I appreciate that. We always love the kind words. We just do what we have to. Sometimes my dad does solo on here. We just do what we have to. We want him to get better, so he's not missing, a third string. He's just here, and he can get back to videoing and doing what he loves. Randy Koch says, what happened to the sturgeon, muskie, and flathead that Rod gave you? The smaller sturgeon, you remember that there was 3 that came in. Those were some super white diamondbacks. I wanted to keep them, but those were promised to some clients. I was, there, picked them up. So, we were able to bring them back, and I just helped a friend out in that case. The muskie, he ended up dying a little bit down the road, I think, after a month. We got him to eat. I'm not really sure why he died. Sometimes it happens. I just feel like he was still a bit small to be 100% stable and comfortable in a tank. Although he was in the tank but by himself, we had him eating and feeding. We know what water was good, and one day we just walked out there and he was, laying on the bottom of the tank. Stuff happens, but we'll try. As far as the flathead, Rod never gave us a flathead, but I still do have my big 2-foot flathead out there now, which everyone thought we're going to have a major problem in the 3000. That flathead is going to be an aggressor. He's going to bite everyone. And he's been out there. He's been a big puppy. Haven't really bothered nobody. Stacked down a couple of inches. And, he lives in the 3000 now. Did you know if you write an address on a potato and mail it, the postman will actually deliver it to your address? That being said, you might have a potato coming in the mail. Well, you probably shouldn't have said anything, and that would have been even funnier because I would have definitely videotaped that one. Probably still will. And if it shows up in the mail, I'm probably going to send a lot of my friends potatoes. Yes, Life of Shiv says, just seen the latest video. Lone Star got so big. Yeah, he has gotten massive. He's probably about 18 inches now. He lives with that goonch, which is also getting big. He's growing so quick. I'm so happy about it. And I've got him, either I'll stick my fingers down in there and hand feed him, but I also do these 2-foot long tongs and tongue feed him, because once he gets a little bit bigger, I'm definitely not going to hand feed him. Randy said, "What wine are you sipping tonight, Josh?" It's actually cherry vodka and this real fruit flavor enhancer. So it's not like dyes and aspartame. It's actually actual fruit flavoring and coloring from fruit. So it tastes good. Checking a little late. What's up, guys? Is that Dovi still in the monster pond? Curious how big he is now. King actually passed away some time back. If my memory doesn't fail me, I want to say he was close to 19 inches long. Don't quote me on that, but whatever video we were in, we had him measured in that one as well. But that was quite a time back. So, how long till you put the goonch in the pool pond? So my biggest thing is, even them platinum red tail catfish, they're over 2 foot long, getting closer to the 30-inch mark. I'm still concerned with them things going in the monster pond, because there's 40-inch catfish in there that are alphas and big gar, arapaima. You put in something that's too small and brightly colored, they'll usually be the first one that gets attacked. The goonch, I'll probably upgrade to the 3000, and then we'll move out to the monster pond. My guess is probably around 40 inches to 4 foot. That's when I feel like the goonch will be stable enough and be able to fend for himself in that pond. As far as the platinum red tails, the 30-inch mark, and I'll probably add them in with other fish as well. So it's not, 1 or 2 fish are new. There's a bunch of new fish going in, Jim Sheasley, another $10. I'm just saying, we have all seen you do it. So with the fish in mind, the arapaima should stay where it is now. They grow so fast. I'll even donate. Let's get them a new one. Yeah, we most certainly could, and that's I can kind of let you guys in on a little secret. You guys did deserve it. If I said that, the thought has not crossed my mind, um, but I've also been trying to find them a replacement that's closer to 3 foot. I have one potential lead that could be manageable there. Possibly a second one, but and also Rod did also just import some 30-inch ones, although they're much more expensive because they're red arapaima. They've got a little bit greater red coloring. But the thought has crossed my mind. If I had a call and someone says, "Hey, I have a 30-inch arapaima," then but by all means, it wouldn't be a question. I'd be like, you know what? I'd call up my friend, say, "Hey, how do you feel about just keeping it?" And then calling up, Lori and saying, "Hey, this is what I think is best, and we got you, this coming up there." Because I mean, when they bought it, they were buying a 34-inch arapaima, so he's 4.5 feet now, and he went from like this thick to about that thick, and Brutus is like this thick, so he's definitely putting on some weight, and it will definitely be a hard transport. So definitely an honest thought there. Bob Taylor, $20 says it's the Josh show. Tonight it is, but hopefully my dad will be better. He should be better by next week. He always loves coming out here and doing the show with you guys. So it's almost 7:30 now. So let's go ahead and get him out here for some after hours, and he can only be up for so long. He starts getting winded, and he's got to go back and lay down and rest. So he can come in, do the show with you guys for a little bit until he starts feeling his getting hard to breathe. Then you can just end it and say goodbye. If it was up to him, he would have tried to bear it through it and come out here for the whole hour and a half. But you know what, it's 7:30 now, so Dad, go ahead and come on out, and you can take over the after hours. If it's 15 minutes, it's 15 minutes. If it's a half hour, it's a half hour. But let's go ahead and get these guys some Big Rich in their life. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up here. It was a wonderful show with you guys. It was fun. I think we went on some awesome topics. Definitely do it again sometime, but I would like to take the stream more to this caliber and style, and get it out into the monster pond, and just have fun, and just more discussions and stuff.
Yo, bro.
What's up?
You gave me a situation when you came here.
Yeah.
You said, "Oh, I didn't know you were that sick." You said you were feeling better, and I said, "I am."
Yeah.
You said, "Oh, well, you're still sounding sick." I'm like, "Well, okay." You go, "Okay, there's two things that could happen. One, Brittany and Laura's got to go home, and me and you'll do the show.
Yeah.
Or I'll do the show with Brittany." I go, "Okay, do the show with Brittany." I went in my room.
We tried.
I went in my room, and then you sent Brittany and Laura home.
Yeah.
So I came out, and I'm like, "Okay, it's going to be me and Josh." And you're like, "Oh, no, bro. I can't get sick with you." And I'm like, I felt like what the hell?
Yeah.
That's the deal I made with you.
Well, I had Laura was not, having it, so you're good. Get out of here. Are you trying to give them a?
I'm trying to keep you separated from me.
You're fine. All right, I'll walk this way. All right, guys.
That
Take
way
care.
you don't get sick.
Sounds good. Appreciate it. I will see you guys all next week, or actually in the video on Wednesday.
All right, you're off to the left. All right, thank you, Josh. Oh, see you, buddy. Thanks for taking care of the show for me. Oh, oh, my chair. Oh. Okay. Hey, what's up, guys?
Stop being decrepit.
Did you call me decrepit?
Yeah.
Come out of my bedroom to come out here and do after hour show, and you're telling me to not be decrepit. Oh, okay. Let me make sure this is all on. Hi, guys. Oh, look at Sue Ann. Bow Chica. Wow, wow. Hi, Sue Ann. Hi, Sebastian. Oh, I was sitting in there. I had so much to say. Every time Josh would say something, I'm like, I need to be on there. I need to tell him this or tell him that. And then you guys were saying stuff, and I had to say, you know, I felt like I had so much to say. All right. Well, let's give it up for my son. He did a good job carrying the show by himself. So, good job, Josh. And then Skylar, look at her. She's been sick the whole 2 weeks with me. And look at her. I bought these pajamas.
I wore them last time, I think.
I know, but just for the people that don't know, I bought these pajamas for her as a joke because I'm like, you know, I don't know what to get you, you know. What do you need? She goes, I need jammies. And then I saw this thing that's, you know, put jammies, and I was thinking of putting Loki's picture on there, her, you know, her cat that I gave her. And next thing you know, I'm like, you know what? It would be funny. I put my own face on there. And then stand up. And this whole pajama thing. And it's got Big Rich all over her whole pajamas. And when it came in, I laughed. Hey, Jerry. What?
Which way you want me to run?
For what?
To go that way.
Oh, you can go behind the screen here.
All right.
And you'll be good. So I got her the pajamas, and it was a laugh. I laughed so hard. I didn't think she'd actually like them. She ends up liking them. She wears them all the time now.
Alright, I'm getting comments pulled up right now. Guys, I got a new laptop. Nice little. At first, I got a gaming one, but then I decided I didn't need that, so I got a nice little simple thin one. Turn around.
Oh, let me see. Okay.
Okay, we got a couple of we got $1.99 from Pete Christensen. Thank you, Pete.
$4.99. Okay. What the hell did I walk in on? Rich sounds like hammered shit. I don't sound good.
Yeah.
I know, guys.
BG Foster,
But I sound 10 times better than I have in the last 2 weeks. I've been horrible. I've been coughing so much, and I tried last Friday the video. I tried to put that video up. I was coughing so much, you know. Please turn that volume
I'm
down.
trying to. I was getting to it. I'm trying to put the video up.
It was so horrible that I was coughing so much that, you know, it hurt my head. And then my head hurt so much that I was scared of coughing. And I was coughing all the time. And it was horrible sickness for a week and a half. And this last half week, I've been getting better day by day.
You know, we think it was from the boat show that we went to.
Could have been the boat show, yeah. But it's been 2 weeks now. 14 days. As of last Friday. Because last Friday, after the show, I went outside and I shoveled the driveway for the nurses that comes in at 11 o'clock. And I was out there, I was shoveling. And, you know, have you ever ran so far that, you know, like someone says, I bet you can't run a mile. And, you know, after 3 driveways, you're breathing so hard and you keep running just to prove you can do it. That's what I felt like. I was out there doing this shoveling. I'm shoveling and I was breathing in so hard and so fast that my throat got so raw, you know, and I'm shoveling and just I'm pushing myself just to push it and get it done. And I got the whole driveway shoveled for the nurses to come in at 11 o'clock. And, you know, they're older and, you know, I didn't want them to fall and all that. I woke up and I was sicker than a dog. And for 2 weeks now it's been. And, you know.
When you got me sick, you got Jerry sick.
I didn't per se get you sick. Everybody around me got sick, including Tracy, including the nurses. And I tried staying in my room and, you know, coughing to myself. When I cough, I pick up my shirt and I cough under my shirt. You know, I don't, you know, I don't try and get people sick. You know,
I hate to go back in time, but Tyler Hernandez says, I want to order a pair of Big Rich pajamas. That actually might be a fun thing to add to your store.
Oh, but yeah. So now it's after hours, so we don't have to worry about fishy stuff. You guys got questions about music, about cars, about engines,
I got stuff to
about
talk about first.
betas, anything you want. We'll talk about whatever you guys want. We're here for entertainment for the next hour.
I got stuff to talk about. So first of all,
Well, hold up. Susan Hudgens says, how's the giant gourami that my son brought in at 2 a.m.? Yeah, this was a thing that I
forgot
didn't
to
know.
tell Rich about it.
No one told me. It turned. I said it could have been one of my mods. Turns out it was Skylar.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, at 1:30 in the morning, I get a car in my driveway and they're pounding on my door. So I go and I have to answer it. You know, and they're like, "You were coming from South Carolina. And we're going to, you know, Michigan, and we have this fish for you." So I bring them in, and you know, we acclimate the fish. I show them around. And they're like, you know, this and that. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know why you're in here. I've never heard nothing about this.
I told you about it before. I told you they were coming. I didn't tell you when they were coming.
So, turns out, they showed up. I got up out of bed. Well, actually, I wasn't even in bed. I was watching Tracy that night. I just happened to be up. And I had to leave Tracy alone for, you know, 5 minutes at a time to go out there and take care of the fish and then acclimate it and then run back in and then run back out there, you know, and take care of that stuff. And, you know, the fish turned out to be, he's fine now. He's, that's Charlie. He's in our tanks and he's going through quarantine now. So he's doing good.
I took Loki to the boat show.
Uh-oh. OBG Foster said, my stepdad died from shoveling. He was only 44.
I'm so sorry, OBG.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Randy Koch says, get a plow for your four-wheeler, Rich. I have one, but, you know, the nurses can drive in the whole driveway, and at the end of the driveway, I just wanted to clear out from my door to where their car parks. It wasn't worth going in the backyard, getting the plow, hooking it up to the four-wheeler, all that stuff. It should have already been hooked up, yes. I have that. Should have been set up and in my garage where I'd open my garage door and I'd plow. You know, I even have like a clear thing that goes over us, and I have a stereo on my four-wheeler so I can listen to tunes while I'm inside this clear hutch thing and then plowing. But we never set it up for this winter because it's been so, you know, lame.
Taking Loki.
What's that?
Can I talk about how I took Loki to the boat show?
Sure, in a minute.
All right. Just let me know when I can talk.
Okay.
And I'm reading all the comments. I got them for you.
You're good. So go ahead.
All right. No, I have them pulled up right here. But I took Loki to the boat show. I wanted to see, first of all, if I could sneak him in because we had exhibitor badges.
Yeah.
And so I went through the exhibitor entrance because I was helping my friends out. And nobody questioned me at all. I had Loki there for about 4 or 5 hours. It's only 10 minutes away from here, so I could have taken him back whenever I wanted to. But I was so shocked this cat was an angel. He was probably the biggest attraction at the boat show.
Everybody's like, is that a lynx? Is that a
Everybody loves Loki. He probably had at least 200-300 pictures taken with him.
They thought he was
Thousands.
what kind of cat?
They thought he was a lynx. They were like, "Oh my god, that's the coolest cat I've ever
What's
seen."
the other? The mountain lion.
Yeah. No, I thought he was a lynx, but
Yeah.
everybody loved the cat. he brought in, I think I've made them probably at least a couple $1,000s just from bringing people in, but he had crowds of people surrounding him. He had a line at one point.
Yeah.
And he got me to meet.
And there's a water skiing squirrel there.
I was getting there. Let me finish speaking.
The point is, Loki had a longer line to him than the water skiing squirrel.
But I was so excited to see Twiggy the water skiing squirrel, and I got something even better. I was so sad when Rich and I went. We went right when it was ending, and I was kind of devastated. And when I brought Loki, we were getting so much attention. They let me meet Twiggy. I got to take a picture with Twiggy.
You got to hold him.
I got to hold Twiggy with Loki. I have a picture of Twiggy and Loki together. And
you
it was
let
the
squirrel in your hand while the mountain lion was in your hand. The lynx was going to take out that squirrel.
Oh yeah, they were so nervous. They were freaking out. But Loki didn't do a thing. I told you he was an angel cat from heaven.
Yeah.
And there's that.
Well, that's what anyone would think. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we got a couple other things. There's the betas.
You got to move over a little bit.
There's the betas, and then we got the bidet incident.
Oh my God, guys, this is the funniest thing that happened to me while I was
I'll
sick.
let you tell the story.
No.
You can tell it.
We have community service
I'm
coming by,
traumatized.
and she, cleaning everything, but we're not allowed to use community service for our personal cleaning services. So community service can do like the entrance and then the fish room and all that kind of stuff. They can clean all that stuff. Well, we have 5 bathrooms here, and part of her job is to clean them 5 bathrooms. So I was sick. I was laid out. I was in bed.
I was cleaning your bathroom.
And she was cleaning my bathroom.
And
I'm sitting in there, and I'm quiet, and I'm just laying there like, oh God, please kill me. I was so just like out of it. And she's in there, and she takes in all of her cleaning stuff.
Say
Hold
what
up.
you heard
Shush,
first.
shush.
If you didn't know what happened till afterwards.
She comes in, she brings all of her cleaning supplies. She's like, I'm gonna clean the bathroom. I'm like, all right. And I put the blanket over my head, and I'm just laying there in bed. I'm just like dead. And next thing I hear, I hear her scream.
And water going everywhere.
I'm like, what the hell? And she screams, and she's like, I'm retarded. And I'm like, what did
I
you
did
do?
not say that.
You did.
I said I'm an idiot.
Oh, you said I'm an idiot. And I'm like, what did you do? And she's like,
I don't want to tell you.
I have a bidet on my toilet.
I didn't tell you what I did for like 5 minutes.
Right. But I have a bidet on my toilet. And if you press the water one way, it squirts out. If you press it the other way, it squirts down. And I have a bidet on, the other toilets in the house, and it only has one way. You can turn it, Mine's a little different. It's a little extra. So, on the bidet in her room, she's used to.
No, this is worse. This is worse, Rich.
Why?
I turned it in the direction that it usually goes in. I didn't even do the. I didn't even use the new setting.
The bidet in her room turns this way, and it it squirts.
No, it went the same way. I was just being absolutely stupid.
Okay. Either way, she turns on the water, and then all of a sudden the water squirts her. She's kneeling in front of the toilet, cleaning the toilet, and it squirts her in her face. She gets soaked in her face.
And in the mouth.
And I'm like, why? And she's yelling and screaming in the bathroom by herself.
I don't want to tell you. And then you were like, what happened? I was like, I can't tell you. And then you were like, what?
She got squirted with the bidet right in her face.
And then you laughed your ass off for a solid 45 minutes. You didn't even say anything.
I did.
You offered no help, no sympathy.
No sympathy.
We have $1.99 from Pete Christensen saying snowblowers are a beautiful thing. There's some here, but they were so hard to get out of the barn.
We have 2 electric snow blowers called snow brooms, and they're all the way back in the barn. 500 feet backwards through 3 foot of snow into the barn, and it was just easier to grab the shovel and clean up front. So I mean, I have a big, motor ran, thing. And it was too much of a pain in the ass to go in the backyard and get. I also have a skid steer. I could have started it up and then, used it to scoop up. I mean, that thing runs forever. And I didn't do that either. I was just trying to scoop a little bit and get it out of the way for the nurse to drive up from the driveway to our door. I didn't feel any of that other stuff needed, and I wore my throat out. I was so raw in my throat. It felt like I was trying to run a marathon when I can't run 3 houses, you know. What's this? Oh. So yeah, I'm laying in bed and she's in there, you know,
Screaming.
screaming and making noise.
Um,
And I'm like, what? And she's like, I'm not telling you.
Harley Jim, I just have to read this one. Ron hold clean, Skylar, but you do have a potty mouth, so.
You do.
That's
you
a good
do.
one.
You do. I will give them that. Come on, let's talk about something fun.
No, we got my beta still. Everybody was asking for a beta update.
I'm going to give that on the next video.
Let me talk a little bit.
No. So we got cars, we got music, we got
more stuff than this to talk about.
Stop. The beta thing will come out on the next video.
The betas. I'm talking. We got more stuff to talk about.
Oh.
I'm not drinking a smoothie. I should be drinking alcohol.
Oh my God, my head just killing me. All right,
Well,
so
I'm not going to talk about anything with the betas, but I've been getting a lot of work done. Lots changed down there.
oh yeah,
Lots.
that's
whole
why the next
room's
video
changed.
is going to be
Yeah.
all about betas and the beta room
From the
because
last video,
so much has changed.
literally almost everything I think except for the rack has changed.
No, even the rack has changed.
Oh, the rack wasn't in the last.
We took the whole rack down and
Oh, yeah.
rebuilt it, yeah, and put different shelving on it, different tanks on it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's I got some. There's more surprises.
So
down
today
there.
is Friday, and I put out a video now. I have to put out a video for Monday.
But and then
So Monday will be the beta video.
but there's this tomorrow. I'm going to the fish store. I'm not getting any fish, but I am getting some stuff from there.
Well, that's
and then-
not going to be on the video.
It's gonna be in the tanks for the video for your Monday one. Won't it?
No.
Well,
So don't worry about it. We got it covered. Monday's video is going to be about the beta tanks and the beta room, the whole room actually.
well, no, I'm
now.
saying because I'm gonna have things that are going inside of the tanks that'll be in the video.
Maybe.
So, but
Depends when I video it.
I'm going tomorrow to go do all that. I got a bunch more to do tomorrow. There's a bunch more getting switched in, switched out. There's a lot of work to be done tomorrow down there.
Jensen Carlson says, nice rack. You do got a nice rack.
Richard,
Well, no, that shelf we built. That's a nice rack.
it is a nice rack.
It is. Oh my goodness.
But they've been going. I have a website that I'm about to start listing my betas on too. I just got to get pictures from down there of everybody, and I'm gonna start listing my betas. It's basementbetas.com. Yes, I got that website, and I'm happy about it.
You got the website.
I have
She
basement
will be
betas.
selling her betas from there and then shipping them. So she's going to be not only experimenting in these different breeds, but she's got hundreds and I'm talking $800 in betas you just ordered to try and mix breeds and have special breeds that you've never seen before.
Like I got this one from the babies that I had last time. I messed around and I got this. I didn't realize, but both of them have the wild type gene in them because
Yeah.
both of the betas were hybrids. So I got some really cool long finned ones, and I have some blue ones that go into black, so they're half moons too. But they have white front fins, and I don't think I've seen that where it's like all pretty much one color with white front fins,
Right.
and it's like a
And
stark,
long fin.
yeah, long fins, and it's a stark difference too. It doesn't like gradually go from the blue to the white. It's just white front, blue everywhere else. It's gorgeous. So
She's doing some special things with betas, and she's going to be selling them, and she's selling them cheap actually.
yeah, I'm starting off cheap. The new ones that I just got, I got 2 different types, but I got a bunch of different colors in each type. I'm gonna do aliens, which is pretty much wild type. And then I'm gonna stick. I don't even know if they're really koi, but they're like marbled plaquette.
Koi type beta.
Yeah, the really colorful ones, and I got some long fin ones too. I have a Dumbo male, which is really colorful. That's the marbled one with the really long fins. I don't
Half
know
of
if
the
you saw
women
them.
out there got a Dumbo male.
It's true. But I've been waiting on these the aliens for so long now. I ordered them, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
So I've been waiting 2 weeks for these aliens to come. The other ones that I came, shout out to Tucky's Betas. I ordered them, and the betas arrived the next day after I ordered them.
I know, you were surprised.
Yeah, so Tucky's Betas, I highly recommend if you want to get betas. Everything came alive. It came well packaged.
You'll not get the breeds that Skylar's breeding.
I'm selling them for a lot cheaper than Tucky's Betas, too.
Okay, well, don't down. Hello?
Me.
Who's me?
Coming through.
Oh, Jerry, hi.
Yeah, no, but my betas are going to be really cool. I'm going to, it's going to
You're going to have one-of-a-kind betas, basically.
I already do.
Yeah.
I got some really cool ones that I've never seen
Everybody's to
before.
bed.
See you, Jerry.
Good night, Jerry. Embellis betas. I actually did order some Embellis betas. I ordered a lot of betas. I don't even know how many betas I have right now. Probably at least a couple hundred.
But you have repurposed the whole room and now changed everything. The whole room has tanks everywhere. And we got the new flooring in. We got a lot of stuff to show them about the room.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
The Embellis beta, I actually did order that one. Here, that's this kind. Remember I showed it to you? You helped me pick it up?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do have one coming, and that's the one that hasn't come yet, and that's the one I'm the most excited about. But Rich even has started liking the betas, I think. But they're really fun, especially for the kids, because it's one of the only tanks here that they can help feed, and the kids can kind of interact with the betas too.
Right.
So I love showing it to them. Hey, what's up, Ohio Fish Rescue? How are you doing, Big Rich? It's Skylar. This is J-Rod.
Yeah, we're getting by, buddy. We're getting by. Now, let me ask you this. You guys seen this mess going through with Motley Crue and Mick Mars? Where Mick Mars has been writing all the music for Motley Crue all this time, and you know that Vince Neil can't sing no more. He cuts out words, he cuts out things, he cuts out whole sentences and just puts in the highlights of the sentence. It's horrible. It's horrible. He can't sing for shit. And they're going after Mick Mars because he don't want to tour no more, but he still is, part of Motley Crue. But he couldn't physically tour no more. He's in too much pain. So he said he can't tour no more. Motley Crue replaced him with Johnny Five, and they're still going on tour. Well, Mick Mars is a quarter of the band, and blah blah blah, and they tried cutting him out, only giving him 5%. Well, he didn't want to quit touring. He wanted to quit touring the world, and could have worked something out. But the point is, he still wants to write music and put out as Motley Crue, but they cut him out now. So now they're going through a court battle on this and that. Mick Mars put out his own music and his own, he went ahead and put out a whole nother album with somebody else. And now the album is amazing. If you guys could hear it, it's amazing. Mick Mars can still write. He's still
So are you listening
my
to
favorite
anyone
guitarist.
talk to me?
Dude, he is still one of my favorite guitarists. He is bad to the bone. He is what made Mick Mars. Now, also, Vince Neil once said, I can sing, Tommy can play, Nicky can play, but when we get together, it's magic. Well, that's what made Motley Crue. Well, they try and single him out and take out Mick Mars. Well, Mick Mars was the driving force in Motley Crue. Vince Neil was a driving force in Motley Crue back in the day. Because anybody can tell you, you can find a drummer anywhere. You can find a bass player anywhere. Seriously. You can replace them easy as can be. It's the singer and it's the lead guitarist. If they are special, they are special. Now, those two are, they're not together no more. and Vince Neil can't sing no more. He sucks. You know, there's so many people that do his songs better than him now. He can't even replay his own songs. He's just terrible. Mick Mars can still play his songs. You know what I'm saying? Mick Mars just can't go on tour because his body hurts. So I completely believe in Mick Mars. I don't believe in Motley Crue suing him for this stuff. He should get a quarter of what Motley Crue is making. And they would have made another album because Mick Mars had a whole nother album waiting. And it shows now because he just put out an album without Motley Crue, with a whole new crowd. And that album is amazing. You guys should go listen to it.
I wish this would open up. Oh, Ingve Malmsteen. He's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Heck
Always
yeah,
has been.
fans.
Yeah. Harley Gem says, been saying this for years. Neil was done. Mick held them together since day one. What a mess, you know.
Raheem said, Skylar, check this website of betas, which is the website that hasn't sent my betas yet that I ordered 2 weeks ago. So I ordered I spent I think like $350 from them.
Right.
Still haven't shipped out, but to be fair, they did have a flood there, I think, which could be why. But it's still been 2 weeks, and the other places in California.
The other
too,
place,
have been fucking
the next
bad.
morning, you were like, holy
The
shit.
next morning, you were like, "Why'd you have community service come early?" And then like the doorbell rang, and there were betas at the front door, and I'm like, "This is why."
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Haley Gem. Oh, yes. Jeff Healy. I love me some Jeff Healy. Jeff Healy rocks. He's a guitarist.
For like what?
For what?
Yeah, the what band?
All right. Let me explain this to you real quick. Do you remember Roadhouse?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember the guitarist playing in the background and he was blind?
Yeah.
Okay. Jeff Healy is the guy that was a blind guitarist that played with the guitar sitting on his lap and was so good. But let me tell you about this.
What's our one boy's name again? Remember that one guitarist I really like?
Oh, that's Uli John Roth.
Yeah,
Uli John Roth. He died at 41 from cancer. Amazing.
Sucks.
That's horrible.
Didn't the new Roadhouse come out already, or is it still just coming out, Rich?
What's that?
The new Roadhouse?
Oh, it's out, and I'm not a fan.
Rich, when are you going to start using videos for the background live stream again?
I want to do that real soon. I want to do that right now. You know what? By next Friday, next Friday's live stream, I guarantee I'll have it back up. I want to do that.
So we'll be honest, it's just because this is what's been close by to us.
It's been simple this way. Oh my God. So anyways, Eric Johnson was in I'm sorry. He was in the movie Roadhouse, and he introduced Dalton.
I know who you're talking about now.
Do you know?
Yes.
Okay. He was the deafblind guy. He was great. Okay. What was the question here? Jeff Healy or something like that. I forget.
I haven't seen Bambi in here.
Yeah, Bambi hasn't been around, and neither has
You ran?
no, Sue Ann's here. Our girl, Brittany and
Oh, AZ.
AZ, yeah, I haven't seen
Where are
them.
they?
I don't know. The new Roadhouse has Jake Gyllenhaal and what's his name? That ignorant fuck.
I should have picked a hotter guy than Jake Gyllenhaal.
No, who's the guy? I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. The skinny guy that was an attitude, lightweight, fight anybody.
Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor. He is the bad guy in Roadhouse.
He's a little bitch boy. I'd love to see. I only want to watch it just to see him get beat up.
Well, he's the bad guy in the new movie.
Oh, AZ's here.
There's AZ. Hi, buddy. I missed you. I haven't seen you in the last couple weeks.
Hopefully Bambi's all good. I forgot to say hi to Sebastian. Hi, Sebastian.
I keep seeing AZ's dog online, and it's such a cute little puppy. And they're not online no more. They're not here with us all the time.
They have the cutest dog ever.
They do.
That was such a good dog.
He's a great puppy.
I know. They need to bring him back. I was gonna say something. You made me lose my train of thought.
I made you lose your train of thought?
Yeah, big time.
That's because
I
I'm
was
so
gonna tell
distracting.
Sebastian. I was trying to talk to Sebastian and tell him, Sebastian, don't worry, I'm not getting married to Sam Scales. The ring I got, I'm not wearing it right now. It was given to me it was in my family.
James Bernard says Skylar looks purty today, Big Rich. She looks like she's doing better. Stay safe. Love from Omaha, Nebraska. Aw.
Thank you.
You look purty
I
today.
just took a shower. That's it.
I think it's the pajamas you're wearing.
That makes
He's
me
seeing
pretty.
me and thinking I'm purty.
Jim said, hey Skylar, I want to talk to you about your fish shipping. Just send me a message. I figured out how I'm gonna do it. I saw how they shipped the betas to me, which worked really well. So I think I'm gonna do it a very similar way to how they did it. If that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
Or if it's the shipping from the companies over to here. I'm not sure which one, but.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Oh yeah, I kept that. I'm not throwing that out. I kept the shipping box that I got the original betas in.
Did you?
Yeah.
You need to. And them things that them little packets, them are hand warmers. You can buy them in the store and then send them.
And then they use the insulating
They use the insulated the styrofoam, and then they put a hand warmer in there, and they're good to go.
No, and then they had around it. They had those
like a wool blanket.
No, the towels that you get, like the metallic ones. Okay. And I looked them up. You can buy those in bulk for extremely cheap. So I'm gonna do it just like that.
And betas are easy to chip. They don't need no air.
Yeah, plus, I mean, they can fluctuate temperatures and be okay. Right. They're really, really good at...
I'm ready to pass out. I'm sorry.
We can end this soon.
I'm done. Oh.
All right, well, any last questions from anybody?
Oh, what's this one?
Give them another minute before...
Deb Charge says, hey, Rich, is a hot dog a sandwich? Not necessarily. A sandwich. No, it would not be.
It's between two buns.
No. A hot dog is a hot dog as long as it's got chili and cheese on it or mustard and onion. It's a hot dog. But if you cut that hot dog up and you put a bunch of other things on it, then it becomes a sandwich. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, we actually got a legitimate question here.
That was a legitimate question.
Okay, it's sounding better. Did you ever figure out what to do with the parking out front of OFR? Yes, Kathy took her car and now we have parking.
Yeah, Kathy took her car out and we have parking now.
But the thing is,
Kathy.
Rich bought another car, and so now there's a little less parking again.
No.
So Rich bought a car for dirt cheap.
Whoa. I picked up a car that needs fixing, and I have to fix it. And once it's fixed, it's only got 55,000 miles on it. And once it's fixed, I will sell it. It just happens to be here. This is what I do. This is what I've always done. Is I buy like say you can't start your jet ski. and all of a sudden now your jet ski don't run, and you talk to a mechanic and they're like, oh, bring it in, it'll be $500-600, and you don't bring it in, so it sits at your house for 2 years, and then I can get it, and I get it really cheap at today's prices, even cheaper, because you don't know what's wrong with it. I pick it up and I fix it, and then I put it up for sale. This is what I do. So I got this car. It's a 2016 Toyota Corolla. Good running car. It's only got 55,000 miles on it. She was going to junk it. So I gave her a lot more than the junkyard would give her. And I have been out there working on it in my sickness. And it's not the battery. It's not the starter. We've eliminated that, which is what the place told her. And then now I've got to worry about spark and gas. So I'm going to spray some ether in there in the morning, let her turn it over and see if it makes any kind of starting sound. If it does, then it's a fuel problem. If it don't, we check the spark plug. And if there's no spark, it's a spark problem. So if it has fuel and it has spark and it's still not running, then it's an overhead timing chain problem. So, from there, we'll go. There's no dents, no rust. It's a beautiful car.
Here's their dog. 6 months old.
What a cute dog.
OBG, I've played the ukulele on the live stream before. I take it out right now, but I'm in the process of cleaning up my room entirely, so everything's a little bit chaotic. But I'll get it out once I get it cleaned up. I absolutely love it. Alright, you wanna call it a night?
Yeah, well, we're done.
Alright, let's call it a night. Gotta tell everybody what you always tell them.
All right. Love you guys. Thanks for hanging out tonight. I'd hang out more, but I'm beat, tired, and sitting up makes me just as tired. The only time I feel good is when I lay down. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Thank you for hanging out with us.
As always, stay fishy,
Stay fishy, my friends. Yeah. Love you guys. Next Friday will be more fun. I'll stay even longer with you guys.
And OBG, I was going to tell her, I played